Over the years, we've seen many clips of politicians being given a hard time about their language skills. They've been ridiculed for having strong accents or for making legendary mistakes that go down in history.
I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
But some politicians are well known for their good language skills, like Angela Merkel, who speaks English, German and Russian, Theodore Roosevelt, who could read 5 languages, but these figures are still absolutely small fry compared to this politician, who could supposedly communicate in 200 languages. So who is this mystery man? Let's find out. In 1792, a boy was born in Exeter. His name was John Bowring. He was born into a family that, by all accounts, only spoke English. No trilingual mother or bilingual father to learn from. Just a classic English-speaking family. So where did John start learning all these languages? Well, at the ripe old age of 13, John started working as a wool merchant in his father's business. And due to the nature of his work, John was introduced to people from all over the world, and he started to visit countries like the Netherlands and Denmark. Now you might be thinking, I go traveling all the time, but I don't speak 200 languages. So how the hell did he do it? Well, for better or for worse, we need to admit that English has kind of become the international language, which means that nowadays you can comfortably travel to a lot of countries without needing to speak the local language. However, back in the day, that wasn't the case, and John used that to his advantage. Rather than rely on local interpreters or just use sign language to get his point across, John made a conscious effort to learn the local languages of the people he interacted with. And as a result, it's said that by the age of 16, when most of us are just getting over our acne, he spoke up to 5 languages fluently. And his talent did not go unnoticed. His father soon put him in charge of expanding the business in foreign markets, which gave John the opportunity to travel more, to meet new people, and obviously improve his language skills. He learned Italian from traveling salesmen, French from a priest, and German, Spanish, Portuguese, and Dutch from various business partners. Not bad. But John wasn't satisfied. He needed a new challenge. So after mastering the languages of the West, John developed an immense fascination with the languages of Eastern Europe. Now, it's unclear whether John actually lived or spent long periods of time in these countries, but he became so obsessed with these languages that he actually began taking time off work to indulge in his passion. And he began translating Czech, Serbian, and Hungarian poetry. Fun fact, John Bowring was supposedly the first person ever to translate Hungarian into English. And as we always preach on this channel, speaking a new language can open up endless opportunities, not just for travel, but also for your career. And for Bowring, this opportunity was just around the corner. In 1824, Bowring was invited to start writing for a political magazine called the Westminster Review, where he gained a serious reputation as a political economist and a parliamentary reformer.
What does this have to do with language learning?
I'll get to that, thank you. Anyway, and a parliamentary reformer, he gained so much attention that in 1935, Bowring was elected as a Member of Parliament, which meant that John was sent to more countries, where he read more literature, translated more manuscripts, and therefore studied more languages. This eventually led to John being knighted in the mid-1840s, which was obviously a great personal achievement, but it also led to John's next big linguistic adventure, which is where we get back onto language learning, so shut up. In 1949, Sir John went to Hong Kong to become the British consul in Canton, where he started to implement reforms and fight corruption. And he must have been doing something right because in 1954, John became the governor of Hong Kong. And in this position, John is credited with restructuring the justice system, modernizing the water system, and allowing the construction of skyscrapers, which Hong Kong is known for today. However, he is also blamed for starting the Second Opium War over a misunderstanding. So although he must have spoken a decent level of Chinese, maybe he wasn't 100% fluent. Over the years, Bowring travelled to many other countries and wrote several books about Asian cultures, detailing his time in Singapore, Indonesia, Ceylon, India, Siam, and the Philippines. Hold up. Does that mean that he actually spoke all of those languages fluently then? Well, this all depends on who you're speaking to. Ultimately, John claimed that he was able to speak 100 languages and understand about 100 more, i.e. 200 languages. But this claim was made by himself. I mean, I could say that I speak 200 languages. Scholars, on the other hand, claim that Bowring could speak at least 8 languages fluently, read and write about 7 more, and that he had a solid understanding of another 25. So we'll probably never know exactly how many languages Bowring spoke, but either way, Bowring was a pretty impressive guy. He was born into an English-speaking family in Exeter and ended up becoming a governor in Asia, a Hungarian poet, and a tax advisor in the Netherlands. Didn't mention that one, but it's true. So regardless of whether he spoke 200 or 25, Sir Bowring is a pretty good example of how speaking languages can take you to places you could never imagine. And I think modern day politicians could potentially take a leaf out of his book.
Puerto Rico. We love Puerto Rico.
But anyway, if you like this story about Sir Baring, then you're gonna love this video where we explain how FBI agents learn languages.